Good morning. It's been a few weeks since I've done one of these chapel videos. It's been pretty busy as we get ready for summer series. I'm really excited about this summer. Our first Friday is June the 4th, and I can't wait to see everybody and hope you'll join us. If you aren't joining us for summer series, we have other events planned throughout the summer. Our first one is a movie night on June the 12th, and we're going to watch Raya and the Last Dragon out in the park. Today, we're going to talk about prayer. So in John, which is the gospel where the gospel reading comes from today, Jesus talked about how he prayed for his disciples because he was worried about what would happen to them and how they would feel after he was no longer there. So we're going to read When I Pray for You. And it's by Matthew Paul Turner. He also wrote When God Made You and When God Made Light, which are great books. From the moment I saw you, I started to pray, big prayers and small ones. I have sent God's way. I prayed as I held you when you sat in my lap. I prayed when we rocked as you peacefully napped. As you took your first steps and when you started to run, as I pushed you on swing sets or we skipped in the sun, I prayed you felt safe and full of joy and content, that when I whispered I love you, you knew what I meant. They're swinging. When you said your first word, repeating what you heard, when you mooed like a cow or tweeted like a bird, when you giggled out loud or made yourself proud, to God I said thank you, and to you I said wow. As I watched you pretend all alone with your friends, I prayed over you again and again. Because when I pray for you, God knows this is true. Every word I whisper is a prayer for me too. At the moment I hear you jump out of bed, I start praying that God puts good thoughts in your head. I pray when you're smiling and when you feel sad. I pray when you're sick or embarrassed or mad. When you're kicking a ball or twirling in place, when I know what you're thinking by the look on your face, I pray you grow strong, have passion and fight, and stand up for what's good with all of your might. I pray heaven protects you and that you're generous and kind, that your brave little spirit never ceases to shine, that you believe in yourself and follow what's true, that your confidence grows just as fast as you do. As I drive you to school while you splash in a pool, as you challenge a friend to a lightsaber duel, when you open your eyes to a birthday surprise, and when the joy on your face cannot be disguised. I pray you love well, that the light in you swells, that the story God writes is one that you tell. Because when I pray for you, I imagine God's view and pray all that God sees comes alive inside you. When suddenly it seems you've gotten too tall, when you've grown up so much that my lap's way too small, when you're glued to a screen or your bedroom's unclean, when you're no longer a child, but not yet a teen. I'll pray when you're hyper or obnoxious or chill. I'll pray when you're chatty and cannot sit still, when you're running relays or performing school plays, or somewhere in the middle of a garage band phase. When you know all the answers or just think that you do. When you find out the hard way, you know less than you think. I'll pray you choose hope should you ever face fear, and seek wisdom and patience when the pathway's unclear, that you will love others, whether strangers or friends, with the same kind of love that God feels for them. When you break from your shell to stand up for yourself, and I realize you didn't ask for my help, I'll pray and I'll cheer and probably shed a tear and hope that you know if you need me, I'm here. Because when I pray for you, no matter what we go through, the dreams that you dream, I'll be dreaming them too. At the moment you realize it's time to explore, I'll pray God gives you wings and like an eagle, you'll soar. I'll pray where you go, that wherever you land, you'll find a purpose and meaning and role in God's plan, and you'll know what you do and like what you do, and love yourself fully as God wants you to. I'll pray you keep shining, that God keeps refining that story reflects what in you God's designing, that you'll give and you'll share with compassion and care, that how you live life will be to God a prayer. Because when I pray for you, I pray all that you do brings love and bright light and helps the world shine like new. And that's a pretty good reflection of what Jesus was praying for his disciples and what he continues to hope for us, that we will grow up the way that would best shine a reflection of what he wants us to be doing, which is to love one another, to love ourselves, and to be as good as we can be. So I hope you liked this book. It's one of my favorites. I really like Matthew Paul Turner. And I hope that you'll join us in person for chapel, which today is at 10:30 and will be at 10:30 for the foreseeable future. In-person chapel is above the nursery in the parish hall. Thanks.